Those houses all back there.
Mm-hmm.
Now the guy, Milligan, by the hospital, community hospital, in that
Gilbert
area.
and all
Yeah,
that.
do
That
you
was,
know Mr. Mulligan?
I didn't know Mr.
He's
Mulligan.
you did?
I did not.
He's an attorney, and his people own a lot of that property. I'm gonna interview him too. He's a white guy, but he knows the early comings of the blacks who moved in those out on 20th Street.
On 20th Street, but those on west of Medical Center and Magnolia, I think Mr. Townsend's ex father-in-law,
Mr. Humphrey.
Mr. Humphrey, all of those people bought those houses when they were new, I thought.
Yeah, and they're probably dead. But this was a group, I guess,
That
further
and
and
down.
smaller homes.
Right.
They weren't as big
Big
as
as those
these
were.
homes
Right.
on 16th Street,
Right.
where Claude Diggs
Right.
and all of
Right.
them live in those
Right.
big
Right.
homes. John Johnson. And,
Mhm.
were they living there at that time, during the time we're speaking of now, when Jerry was popping?
Yeah. Diggs and all those, I think, were living on 16th Street then.
No, so who were some of the players, the main players in, because I know drugs wasn't nearly, if they were, I don't think so
No.
at all. But I'm talking about the clothing, or the girls,
There was
do you want to get the gambling?
there was Sidney Stevens, which was probably the most popular player.
Was he a black guy?
Yes.
Okay. And was he a pimp, or was he was, so he had girls? And what kind of guy was he?
Clean as a whistle. Clean as
He
a
was
whistle.
clean as a
Sidney
whistle.
was so pretty. I mean, he had these. We all have flaws, but he was so sharp.
He was?
Ooh, he
And
was
he
sharp.
dressed nice?
Ooh.
How did he treat the women?
Well, I can only say what I saw.
And what you know?
Yeah. You know, I mean, yeah, I guess you had to go into your pimp mode every now and then. But he was, to me, he was just, check on his girls and going about his business.
Now, did they come into Jerry's?
Yeah.
Did they come into Jerry's to make money, relax, or meet new customers?
Well, I think they did, but sometimes they would. I think some of the, I guess if you maybe wasn't the favorites that there, they would kind of push them aside.
They did? So
And that was probably after Sidney had died, because he was killed there.
this guy you're talking about was
he
killed.
Was killed there.
What was he killed for? Do you remember?
What I understand, that he was killed because he had another lady that was out in the streets had approached him. She wanted to become part of his stable, and the man that she had belonged to didn't like it,
Oh, okay.
and he shot him and killed him.
Oh, boy, right. Now, how about gambling? Were people gambling?
Yeah.
And who was making money, or who was controlling that? Because it had to be a bank.
Well,
Do you know?
let's see. They would go. I think there was an area right over there by Ragman. Is who I was talking about. Ragman. Yeah. I think either at Ragman's or next door, somewhere in there. That's where they had a little gambling thing going. That's what I understand. I never would go because I don't gamble.
Okay, was the Elks. Down
Those
the
places,
street.
yeah. That was on. There was down the street.
They were
Yeah,
on
and
Mount
then there
Vernon.
was one further down across 5th Street, but I think they bought that place there at, is that 10th, 11th Street?
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah,
in
in
there.
there.
And so was that a popular place, or just a
Yeah.
clubby type?
Yeah, it was,
For the public.
Yeah, they would come in there, the public would come, if you were a club member, I think you would get in free, but if you were public, you'd pay $5, $10, whatever it was.
Well, did the preachers hang out over there? Did they have secret rendezvous over there? Do you remember
You know
that?
what, that's something that they would come to the shop, and we would respect them, and they say, "Oh, that's okay. You know, just be yourself." You know, and they would get there. They get
Y'all
there.
try not to curse.
Yeah. You know, you try to be respectful, you
Right.
know, and not talk about certain things because that's where you know
Right.
your mom and daddy taught you. You know, oh no. Reverend so and so there, so you know you be nice. Ain't no telling what.
But they still hung out there. That
They
what
came.
did they go
They came.
there?
They was never in a hurry to leave or anything
They
like
kind of
that.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, they seemed
liked
to
the
enjoy
company.
it.
Were they in there witnessing, or were they in there trying to look good?
They were in there trying to look good. They had to look good.
They were trying to look
No,
good
they wasn't in
for
there.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you were a barber and a beauty?
I was a barber originally
Okay.
because I knew that it's a little hard accumulating a clientele if I'm a beautician. But I'm a young woman. I looked young. I was almost 30 years old, but they didn't know it.
And pretty.
You know, I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's the one thing. I
never
wish
thought
I knew that
You never knew that
I
you
never
were
knew
beautiful.
that I was an attractive woman.
You didn't? Isn't that something? Yeah. A lot of people don't say that. Well, see,
The esteem wasn't there.
Well, I think what people look at a lot of times themselves, they're looking at their physical thing and not the attractiveness that's coming out of them.
Right.
You know, and they don't see
I didn't know that.
Other people feel it,
Yeah,
but they
I didn't know it. You're
So
right.
you didn't know that.
I didn't know it.
And now.
And
Now,
so,
how about the police? I want to ask you about them. How did they treat the activities that was going on?
they were ugly at times.
They were.
They were ugly.
They didn't want it.
They were just ugly. I think that you know, certain people just wanted control over the black community, and they were ugly at times. I remember I was at work late, and that's when I had that that sports Mercedes. Me and my two sons was in the car, leaving the shop, going home. Two sons. They pulled me over. I asked them what for. They said suspicion of prostitution.
Wow.
And then they looked over and said, "What's your name?" I said, "His name is John." He got to be a John. You accusing me of prostitution with my two sons in the car? You're kidding.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so
They refused to let me go. I said, then you need to take me to jail. Because I'm not giving you my license if you're not going to give me a ticket.
Wow.
I'm not going. My son, Mama, please, just give one they want so we can go home.
Don't leave us out.
Well, my oldest son had license, so I told him take the car and go home. So stuff like that.
So you always had what do you call it? Strength to speak up or to do things. You weren't scared. You weren't a scared person then.
I had to be halfway. I had to protect myself and my children. That's all I knew to do, is to protect myself and my family.
So the father wasn't in the picture. No, and how about men?
I had some pretty cool guys.
You
know.
did?
Well, they had pretty cool guys. They had positions. I'm not gonna name, you know.
Yeah.
But they had good positions, so that's something that my sons had to look up to. You know, these police or a lawyer or somebody that, you know.
You knew them too.
I knew them, and
you had a relationship.
I had a relationship with them.
And your son respected
They knew
them.
that, right?
And
So a couple of them they didn't like, but you know we got over that.
Did they sort of protect you? Or,
my sons, yeah.
Not your sons. These other contacts that you.
Yeah,
had,
well, they were sensible men.
Uh-huh.
That was knowledge also. You know, they were sensible men. You know, and the ones that wasn't sensible that I ran into, well, it's time to go.
So you didn't have a problem getting rid of bad apples?
You have to get rid of them. You can't let them pull you. You know, you have, and the thing that I looked at, you have children that's looking at you.
Mm-mm.
How are they going to feel when they see their mama being dragged through the mud?
So you would never drug through the mud. You wouldn't allow yourself.
Not all the way down. You know, you go through changes in relationships, but you deal with it, you think on it, you sleep on it a day or two, and then you just go on about your business.
Right.
Go on about your business. You can't make anyone do what you want to do.
Right.
You can't make them be the person if they're not already that person. You can't turn people around.
Right.
You know, that's their business.
So there's a quote that some bad experience or a bad thing, I'm not quoting it right, when people come out of that, it shapes them to be better. What type of experience that you had that made you a better person at the end of the low point that you can talk about?
I can't think of a experience. I think it was a lot of small experiences. You know, your association that you when you see that they're toxic, and you're like, okay, and they think I'm cool, and you don't want to just tear them down. You know how to get out of that relationship, how to come away and be a person of your own, and that's what I had to learn how to do. I've had many relationships. I mean, that I thought that even a friendship that I thought was good, but after a while I find that I need to move.
Okay.
I had to move out of it and still smile at them and go about my business.
And not get hurt in the process.
And not hurting you
and not
hurting me.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were
you
able.
Have to, yeah.
How do you learn that?
Because you don't want to be there. I don't want to be that. I didn't want to, you know, I like you, you know, but I don't want to be that. I don't want to be like you. I want to be who I am. And I have to move out of certain relationships, out of certain patterns to be who I am. I don't want to be like that. I like you. I think you're a fine person, but I don't want to be that.
So did you ever join any of the community-based organization that was going on at the time? Were you a joiner?
No.
You were not a joiner?
No. I support you.
Mm-hmm.
And do all.
You bought ads for the.
Donations and everything. Can you do this for me, Artelea? Yeah, I'll do it. But I wasn't a joiner.
You wasn't the president of none of those organizations. Now, why? Or do you?
I just felt. I felt like I was limited on ideas, so I didn't want to stumble anyone, and that was a shortcoming that I had. You know, I don't know, and maybe I should have felt a little better about myself because people would come to me.
So you didn't. That's two ways you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you didn't know how beautiful you were.
I did.
Now you didn't have didn't think you have the competency to do it.
I didn't think I had
That's
the
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And both was wrong, by the way.
I
but
guess.
Just how you live. Mm-hmm. So how were you able to excel with that type of inner? Because I know you don't feel that with Jehovah now. You don't act like it. So how you were able to survive that?
I never thought of that, but I guess the will to survive.
You said
know,
that
I think we all
times.
have the will to survive, and we survive the best we can with what we think we have, without putting pressure on anyone else. But we all, I think, have the will to survive, and that's what I think that I saw, even as a little girl, when Daddy said. When I said, Daddy, I want some shoes. He said, baby, I don't have the money.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You do without. But then I said, okay, there's no one that'll make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. You know, you can't wait for someone else to make you happy. And so I just do me.
Okay. So who in this group of people out there that influence you the most and help you the most that you could point to and raise their name up?
Wanda Wells was one.
Wanda Wells?
Yeah, was one of the people that no matter what you do, if he didn't like what you were doing, he'd tell you need to stop that.
He would?
Oh.
Wanda Wells?
Wanda Wells is one of the straightforwardest people I've ever met in my life.
You know,
Him and his family
what's his sister's name? You know
Claire
her.
Faye.
Claire Faye.
Oh,
That's
that's
Claire
your
Faye's
sister.
brother.
That's his Wanda's sister.
Her sister.
The gentleman that I'm talking about, he's one of the most straightforwardest persons you can ever meet.
And Mrs. Well, Mother Well, was a member of Temple for years.
Right.
You know, Jewel Wells.
Right, that was here the other
That was here the other
Yeah.
day, so
Yeah.
they come out of that family. But I
That
never heard this about Wanda.
No,
Well,
Wanda
the
was,
upholstery man.
yeah.
You know, Crystal uncle,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So Wanda Wells.
And-
I
and-
wouldn't expect that name.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Who else?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Townsend
Okay.
was a wonderful person. Chris Joyner, because when I moved, she was a hairdresser. When I moved out on my own, she did every little thing she could to help me.
She did.
Yeah,
She was a beautician too.
she was a beautician too.
And
But
did you
she
ever-
wasn't afraid to help another beautician.
She wasn't.
Mm-mm.
She enjoyed it.
She gave me things here, out here, here, you know.
And what made her, was she like that in general, or was she attracted to what you were about?
I think she was like that in general.
Uh-huh.
You know, she was the kind of woman, she wasn't afraid to help another beautician.
Uh-huh.
You know, and that's something I learned. When a young woman leave that shop, help them. Give them good advice. Give them a little package to go with.
So you didn't try to hold her down?
No, why?
Mm-hmm.
It makes for a bad relationship.
What did you think that they were going to steal your customers?
And a lot of them did.
They
That's
did.
okay. That's okay. What I learned, you a hairdresser, she's a hairdresser, and I'm a hairdresser. You're not going to do everybody.
You can't do it.
You can't do everybody. You
Mhm.
can't do everybody. So,
And that was an attitude that you had.
yeah.
So, what advice do you give young people now about business? And what are some of the things that's important to stay in business and be able to support yourself when you get our age? That's what I'm talking about, because a lot of people make it in the young.
I know it.
Prostitutes make money. They don't have
Have a
it now.
dime when they.
I'm interviewing a lady now who was a prostitute. She's so beat up and she's homeless and she got 65, got a lot of regret and a lot of things going on. And I know I can't wait to ask her what could she have done differently. So what could you say to people?
And I tell anybody that come to that shop, if you make $1, save a dime of it, and don't let your children, your husband, anybody know about that savings.
That dime.
Because you might have to help them. You know, when I was coming up, I heard old people say, if you have property, you'll be all right. And for some reason or another, every opportunity that I had to get a piece of property, I would do it. And that's one of the things that saved me. And I made a lot of money. But I didn't have any idea what to do with it. I was making so much money. When you have $10,000, $15,000 in a checking account,
Wow.
that's stupid. That's stupid. In a checking account?
Checking account.
In a
Not
checking
to
account.
say
It
no
would be at
in-
least $10,000 in my checking account.
Wow.
So I didn't know that I could pull that money and put it in a savings.
Right.
Just automatically come out every month. And finally I met a young man that showed me how to do that. And I started saving, it just coming automatically out of my business account. I kept a personal account and I kept a business account. You keep those things separate. You keep them separate. You treat it like a business. Count your money so you know what you're worth. And don't work out of your pocket.
Don't work out.
If they don't take my check, my business check, I don't do business with you. I don't do business because that's how I keep things going. But you have to treat it. And the business that you go in, it's good if you like it, and you go into business with the thing that you know most about. If you know more about this thing than all the other things, then that's the business you go into. But save some money. I don't care what you do. I spent money.
Yes. So you think you lost and wasted money by not
yes,
knowing
I
how to
did.
manage it?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I wasted a lot of money.
And what did you waste it on? You got
Kids, at the shop. I'd buy food every Saturday for everybody, and
in the shop?
yeah, yeah, we had fun there. I had fun.
You had fun.
I had fun.
So although you look at it and say, I could have done it better.
I could have did better.
But you still enjoyed yourself.
I enjoyed myself, and I'm all right.
And you still all right.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
You can't beat that.
I'm all right.
Okay.
I could have had more money, but I'm all right.
Right.
I'm all right.
So you had sense enough not to blow everything, and you probably could. Do you think the money was going to continue to come when you were younger?
You know what? Do you remember Don Townsend?
Yes.
One thing, Don would talk,
Don would talk.
Yeah, he looked at me, he was in my chair and I was cutting his hair. He said, "You all right now?" He said, "But there's going to come a time when it won't be like this."
He did?
Yeah.
You're going to be older?
Yeah.
That's what he thought?
This is not going to happen. And that's what we have to consider. What's going to happen to you when you get old?
Right.
What's going to happen to you when you get old?
That's right.
You need to start thinking about it. And Don, I will never forget what he said. In other words, see, I was at my peak during that time.
And he told you...
People was everywhere in that shop, waiting to get in these chairs. He said, "You're on the high side now, but it's not going to be like this always."
Why did he say that? He just knew life was like that, huh?
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
See, sometimes you think people being mean,
yeah,
but they telling you something.
You didn't think he was trying to put you down?
No, I don't
scare
think.
You.
No, I don't think. But then maybe it's being afraid is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, being afraid, and he did scare me. You're right. I'm gonna be an old woman. If I live, I'm gonna be an old woman.
Right.
And
you still got to take care of yourself.
You got to take care of yourself. I am so fortunate. I don't have anybody living with me. My children taking care of themselves, doing an excellent job of taking care of themselves. And I'm living in my house by myself.
How long you been there?
In that house?
In that house.
25 years.
You've been
over
in that
over.
house. So did you buy from Clyde?
I bought it. That house had to sit there for 2 years.
And it was a Clyde Alexander house.
Right.
And it sat there for 2 years.
2 years. Someone had bought it, I think, when he built it. And then they lived there for about 6 years. And it sit there for 2 years. I bought it in 80. I moved in the first part of 89.
Was that your first house? Oh, that wasn't even your first house.
No. I had so many houses.
You were buying houses.
I've been buying houses since I was 24 years old.
Property. How many women do you know like you who know that?
I don't know.
Do you tell them?
If we get into conversation, I tell them.
But you don't try to impose your...
No. If you want to know, I'll tell you. But no, I've been buying, because they had all kind of programs way back then. On Porter Street, $25 down for a little 3-bedroom house. You
bought it.
And I bought it. Now, back then, you were silly and you run off and leave it. $40-something a month, you leave it. But one thing I knew, it was cheaper buying a house than it is to rent.
You knew that.
I knew that.
And the ownership of it.
Yeah, the ownership, you're not paying as much. You might have to do some things around there, keep it up. But, I bought it, after I left there, I went to Rialto. I bought a house. Well, that was a bad situation. I won't go through that. So I left there.
Were you taking your family with you to this place?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So it wasn't just to buy and rent, it was buy to live.
Buy to live. But then I got in a situation when my baby son went to school. He left and went to college. He says, I was on Colorado. He said, "Mom, I want you to move from here, because that's when they were shooting and everything." He said, he said, "I want you to move." And then, I'd walk every morning. I saw the house that I'm in now. I said, well, okay, I should be able to get that for a pretty good deal. I got it for a pretty good deal. I got it for a good deal. When it's sitting there a long time, somebody will make a deal with you.
So you still, if I understand correctly, have land and houses now that you don't live in.
Right. I have one that I don't live in now. I had 3 houses that I was renting for a while. Yeah. With the one that I moved out of on Colorado, I sold that one. And then I had one out in Valley Truck Farm, and I sold that one. So because they just got to be too much for me.
Right.
And let me tell you this. I met a gentleman that told me the value of credit. And I learned that credit is your best friend, especially if you're a single woman.
You're right.
You don't have to ask anybody for anything. And I try to tell people that come into the shop, if you're not paying taxes, you're crazy, because now you have to put it in your mama's name. If you want anything, you making all this money, you have to put it in your mama's name. When your mama died, now your stuff is going to be split between your sisters and your brothers. Pay your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Pay your taxes and build you some credit. Out of all those houses, I never was late on one house payment. Wow. Never. And I struggled with them.
And raise your family.
And raise my family. But I sold 2 of them and used that to put into me a retirement account, you know. And I rent the other 2. I have a piece of property and a house that I'm getting ready to try to unload that and just
retire and use some of the monies that you have. What do you do for fun and recreation now? You're not on Mount Vernon, and you're not into the nightlife like you knew it. So what do you do now? How do you
I get up Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I go to the pool to exercise. On Tuesdays, I go out in service and do my service to Jehovah. On Thursdays, I work all day in the shop. And now, sometimes I come in the afternoons on those other days. But, and then Sunday, Saturday, I'm back up out in service. And in the afternoon on Saturday, the friends might be giving little parties or luncheons and things like that. I go to them, you know, and then we play cards and things, and we take trips. You know, we take trips. We go when I say the need is great, where our preaching is very seldom done, so we go to those areas and we have a good time.
So we're almost at the hour, but I want to ask you a few questions about the organizational structure of Jehovah's Witnesses. We talked about it before. One of the things I know you do is knock on doors. Another thing I know you do is stand in front of supermarkets with your stuff like this.
Right.
You know, I know you do that. How is that organized and categorized, and how do you keep that? How do you know that you're successful?
We're successful because we keep records of everything we do. We keep records of the books that of the literature that we place. We keep records of the hours that we serve when we're out in service. We keep it's a record keeping organization. So I report every month the hours that I've done, the books that I've placed with people, the Bible studies that I've studied with, and that's how we know how the organization is growing.
And everybody's doing that.
Everybody's doing it.
And now, how much do you pay for these books?
We don't pay anything. You don't pay anything. But I donate. I do know that the organization needs funding.
Right.
But we don't ask anything from you.
No.
Because the scriptures also tell us God's word is free. You can get Bibles, and the most progressive thing that's going on now is jw.org.
Yeah,
you can get any information on that you want to.
And
you can get Bibles in I think 8 different languages. You can get 8 different Bibles and probably hundreds of different languages.
Wow.
On that website. Free. God's word is free. So you receive freely, you give freely. And we do what the Bible says.
So when you build a hall, that's what you call it. You don't call it a church. It's the Kingdom Hall.
Kingdom Hall.
So you build that. Now, how is that done? I mean, collectively.
Collectively, all the labor is free.
The roof.
Only thing, everything we do, everything is free. Those brothers get out there and build on their own time. No one is paid.
And
we have to pay for the material.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we have to pay for the material, but every piece of labor is free.
It's free. And suppose you can't do anything. And
that's okay.
You don't know no trade. You don't do anything.
That's okay. You can sit out there and pass spoons out because we have we fix lunch. Spoons. We fix lunch for those people that are coming out to do free. We the different sisters and brothers will say, okay, certain group fix a lunch, certain group fix a breakfast. We bring it in there. So if you can't do anything, if you're old and can't do anything, give them a fork and a knife and a napkin. Get your plate and go.
And then
everybody can do something.
And then they help clean out.
We help clean. There's no one, every night when we leave that hall, there's a certain group of people that clean the hall before we leave.
Before you leave.
Before we leave.
So when the next group
come in,
it's
clean.
Now, who is instructing people to do that?
Jehovah.
Well, Jehovah.
Jehovah, we go to the Bible.
I know that. You know, I know that.
Yeah.
Because you can say, well, the map got me here, or the GPS, but somebody had to drive it, and someone has to put gas in the car. Who's doing this part of it?
There's brothers in headquarters in New York City.
Okay.
They get together. There's certain committees that handle certain things. There's a committee that studies the Bible and gives you the information that in our watchtowers and things like that. There's a committee that because a certain area has not been preached in, there's a committee that takes care of that. There's committees.
Okay.
There's different committees, and it comes down to us.
Well, and so you just kind of know where you fit in, and you get in there on your own. Nobody. I'm trying to get a handle on this organization part of it. How do you know? Today is today, and you say you do something on Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. So actually. You do what you want to do. You don't have to do anything. But, you know, through the preaching work, we know that we need to help people come into the organization. We need to help people that are, Jesus talked about the skin and the people that are just gone astray. We need to know. We need to help those people. So this is what this organization is all about. So if you feel like going out in the preaching work, brother, where can I go to help? What can I do?
So
and everyone.
To become natural then, for those that want to.
Everyone, though, no matter what position you have, go out in the preaching work.